So, good morning. We shall study today some more about the natural products. Um, in our previous lectures, we completed a large proportion of the bioactive natural products, especially the secondary metabolites. So, you know about alkaloids, you know about terpenoids and phenolic compounds and their sources, their biosynthetic origins, and their biological activities. Today, I shall give you an overview of uh, natural products, a broad, in a broad perspectives, as well as different chromatographic methods, different structures, and their uh, the biological activities of the natural products. So, natural products can be, carbohydrates, amino acids, peptides, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, terpenes, steroids, alkaloids, phenolics. All are natural products. Uh, but we discussed a lot about the secondary metabolites. Especially secondary metabolites have uh, you know, drawn the attention of the researchers because they are biologically active and they have been used as medicine or for human benefits since ancient time. Uh, Carbohydrate, amino acids, peptides, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, they are basically primary metabolites, uh, but they are obviously natural products. Natural products, in a simple word, you can say the compounds that are biosynthesized in the living cell uh, are called natural products. There are several analytical techniques our earlier lectures we discussed used to detect and characterize as well as purify the natural products. So, analytical techniques are used to isolate, purify, and structure elucidation of the natural products. And the analytical techniques, especially those who are used in uh, elucidation of the structure, to determine the structure, to confirm the chemical structure of the compound, they are generally called spectroscopy. Spectroscopic methods or like that. For example, NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance. For example, mass spectroscopy, UV VIS spectrometry, polarimetry. There are several spectroscopic methods. NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, very important method for determination of the structure because by using NMR, we can get the information of the uh, carbon and proton, that is hydrogen present in the structure in their alignment as well as in the form of carbon. For example, carbon can be present as CH3 or CH or even carbon alone in the structure. Mass spectroscopy we use for the determination of the molecular weight as well as molecular formula. And we have to determine the uh, stereochemistry of the compound. Chromatography, for example, gas chromatography, high pressure liquid chromatography, thin layer chromatography, they are very important for separating the compound. So never be confused about spectroscopic method and chromatographic method. Chromatographic method we use to separate and purify the compound. Spectroscopic method we use for determination of the structure of the purified compound. Laboratory exercises, there are several, I shall show you today uh, several laboratory exercises. For example, sucrose in sugar beet. Sugar beet, rich in sucrose, and sucrose is our table sugar. So by using TLC and NMR, you can get the information about the, sucrose present in sugar beet. Optical rotation, by using polarimeter, we can get the optical rotation of the compound, because it is very important whether it is D form or L form. Optical rotation in determination of the chemical structure is very important, because compound can be in different, group, for example, D and L form I mentioned. Sugar analysis of oligo and polysaccharides by using GC, gas chromatography, we can analyze the oligo and polysaccharide sugars present in the materials or pure form. Methylation analysis of an oligo and polysaccharide, we can use the GC and mass spectrometry. Amino acid analysis of a peptide by using TLC. We can analyze the amino acid present in the peptide. Admin degradation of peptide by using TLC. Caffeine in tea, coffee, and soft drinks, we can use TLC and HPLC. So these are the methods. I can give you some example, but obviously you have to go through these methods. You can browse the internet. Lots of literatures are available on these methods, from Wikipedia to other reliable sources. So already I discussed natural products, compounds obtained from and synthesized by a living organism. We can simply call them natural products. Natural products, chemistry. Chemistry means to know the chemical structure, biosynthetic pathway, etc. Is the chemistry. But chemistry also includes, synthetic, biosynthetic, and as well as analytical part of the natural products. So natural products synthesized by the uh, cell, in the cell of the organism. Some of them which are very important as medicine or other human benefiting compound, bioactive compounds. Scientists uh, developed methods for synthesis of the compound, prepare the compound in the laboratory. So synthetic chemistry is a very big discipline, and our drug industry, most of our drugs are synthesized, and this is why we can get in a cheaper price. Otherwise, from the natural sources, if we get a drug solely from the natural sources, it must be very expensive. We cannot get a huge amount of for the human use. A natural product, for example, L-alanine, it is an essential amino acid. It is a natural product. Ascorbic acid, another natural product. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is a very important vitamin in this COVID-19 pandemic period. Please take some vitamin C regularly. Vitamin C, if you take a larger amount, even no problem, because excess amount of vitamin C that you do not need the amount, if it is higher than the required amount, they will be excreted from the body through the urine. So yeah, it is a bit carbohydrate like natural product, ascorbic acid. DDT, it is the first human synthesized organic compounds, but it is not a natural product. It is a synthetic product, and this synthetic product, you know, has a very high antimicrobial, insect activity. But DDT has, the story. DDT has huge, environmental huge problem for the environment, because it is carcinogenic and it retains in the environment for longer time. And organochlorinated insecticides, this is why they are banned in almost every country. So DDT is no more longer, used as an insecticide. Um, and it is banned in almost every country. But for discovering of the DDT as an insecticide, Paul Muller received the Nobel Prize for discovering its insecticidal principle, because it worked just like a silver bullet. Any kind of insect you can knock down by using DDT. But later, Raquel Carson, the environmentalist, who wrote the book Silent Spring, described that DDT is very dangerous and harmful for the environment. Synthetic natural products chemistry, for example, we can prepare D-alanine and L-alanine in the laboratory, but using the chemical reaction under certain conditions. So synthetic chemists, they can prepare the natural product in the laboratory by chemical reaction. So classification of natural products, you know the classification of the secondary metabolites, but here you must know, if you are asked classify the natural products, you must consider the primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. These are two big group, and primary metabolites includes carbohydrates, amino acids, peptides, proteins, nucleic acids, lipids, and steroids. But secondary metabolites, steroids, terpenoids, alkaloids, and others. So that means you can find steroids in both groups because steroids are very big class of compound. Some of them are component of the membrane, cell membrane, so they are primary metabolites. But some of the steroids are not the component, structural component of the cell. They have the physiological function, and they are considered secondary metabolites. So there is a bit of overlapping. So analytical technique, for example, TLC, you heard about TLC. This is the TLC plate. It can be, a silica gel plate, or there are many eluent on the glass sheet or aluminum sheet, very thin layer of eluent. So um, uh, you can dissolve your compound in organic solvent, and micro liter quantities if you inject in each spot and put into the organic solvent, then the compound will move toward upward through the solvent, and you can find the different spot means a different RF value of the compound. That means some compounds, those who are high polar as well as molecular weight smaller, they can move faster. So all compounds do not travel in the same speed, and that means RF value of different compounds are different. And by using TLC, you can understand the behavior of the compound, as well as you can see in your mixture how many compounds are present. This is a carbon GCM, gas chromatogram of coffee volatiles. Coffee volatiles, when you take coffee, if you extract coffee by using any organic solvent, and if you do the gas chromatography, you can find all these compounds because they are all volatile compounds. So volatile compounds are very easy to analyze by using gas chromatogram. So different when gas chromatograph, you can find different peaks not overlapping, they are separated, and at time of coming the peak, as you can understand what kind of compounds if you have a standard. So a gas chromatogram is look like this, and this is NMR. proton NMR. Yeah, this is proton NMR. NMR peaks are like this. You cannot understand very easily because uh, different protons are coming out. Some protons are methane CH2, or some protons are in wedge form. This is wedge form. So different kind of protons appear in different location. If you do the proton NMR uh, of an extract of apple, you can find this type of peak. So this is for your understanding how proton NMR looks like. And apple apple extract, by using TLC, lots of different spots we can see, and they are due to the presence of different compounds. So if you extract apple by using any organic solvent, several compounds will present, but proton NMR looks like this, that would extract proton NMR. Sugar beet, sugar water extract, if you extract, because sugar is easily soluble in water, so water can be used to extract sugar from the sugar beet, and sugar peaks are like this NMR peak. And in the TLC, you can also separate by using certain solvent system. And biosynthetic, natural product chemistry, biosynthesis of alanine, you can see how alanine is biosynthesized. Different enzymes are involved in biosynthesis of the alanine in the living cells. Here I am giving you name of some compounds, their chemical formula, as well as the origin and their use. For example, phenoxymethyl penicillin. This is a peptide-like compound, um, one kind of penicillin produces by Penicillium species, and this is a semi-synthetic antibiotic because it can be penicillin after this peptide is included, and it becomes the peptide of penicillin. So this is a semi-synthetic compound, and it is a powerful antibiotic compared to the natural one. Oxytocin, a peptide. This is a peptide. You can see lots of amino acids are there, and it is a hormone present in the brain of organisms. Streptomycin, you have heard about it. Streptomycin is basically a carbohydrate, and it is produced by the Streptomyces griseus, and very famous antibiotic discovered from the Streptomyces. And Streptomyces is a reservoir of source of many world famous antibiotics. Hundreds of antibiotics have been discovered from the genus Streptomyces. Streptomyces is a soil-borne bacterium available in the abundant in environment. Similarly, caffeine, a very popular natural product present in the coffee, tea and coffee, and it is a neurostimulant, and this is why coffee is very good for health, can stimulate our brain as well as give us some stimulating effect, and it is also a powerful antioxidant. Quinine is alkaloid. This is a quinine, discovered from the cinchona plant, and it is an anti-malarial drug. Digoxin, steroid glycosides. This is the steroidal structure, and this part is the sugar, and this is why it is called steroid glycoside. So three sugar molecule is attached to the steroid skeleton, and it is discovered from Digitalis purpurea, and it is a very famous heart medicine. Heparin, present in our blood, liver, lung, tissue of the cattle. Heparin, anticoagulant compound, and also commercially useful drug. Similarly, Atropine we discussed when we talked about the alkaloid atropine, Atropa belladonna, and it is octal mix, one very important medicine. Cocaine, another alkaloid, and it is produced by erythroxylone, coca, and it is used for anesthetic as well as stimulant purposes. And it is also powerful, good one people used as, in different drink also. Uh, Noscapine, it is another alkaloid. Here you can see heteronitrogen atom. Papaver somniferum, this is a poppy plant produce this one, and it is a remedy of cough, so cough medicine. So this is all about today's lecture about the nature products and some chromatographic aspect. We shall discuss later on in detail about chromatographic methods, because these methods are very useful for analysis of the bioactive nature products, either secondary or primary metabolites. And later, we shall also discuss about the uh, signal transduction pathway of bioactive metabolites, and also one lecture maybe on bioassay methods, how we can test a compound as a bioactive uh, nature product, that is biological activity. How can we test them? We can test in the laboratory as well as we can test in the animal model as well as in the human, but how can we do it? Uh, uh, we shall discuss a little bit. Uh, and obviously, uh, as you are masters and PhD level students, uh, so line by line, book basic things are maybe you can get from the books. I shall give you the book, but as a teacher, my job is to train you or inspire you how to read the literature in bioactive nature products. And I shall obviously share with you the bioactive nature products that have been discovered in my life. I discovered lots of more than 60 bioactive nature products, especially secondary metabolites from plants, microorganisms, and other origins. So how we discovered those compounds, and what were their biological activities, and chemical structures, etc. We shall discuss. Thank you very much. And do you have any question? We shall discuss the question. Please ask a question, just unmuting your microphone. Hello. Hello, did you hear me? My lecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you have any question?
Sir, I have a question that like coffee and other substance, some of the substances have side effects in many humans' body. So can we identify that what is causing that side effects, and can we reduce the level of that substance in the coffee or some other products?
Yes, it is very important question, because most of the bioactive nature products, they have some side effect. All are not specific for the specific purpose. And most of the pharmaceutical drug we are taking, they have the side effects. But most important, to avoid the side effects, lots of studies have been done to, fix the dose. Dose makes the poison, I told you. So if a dose is changed, then different receptor, the compound can bind through the different receptor and can show different biological activity than you have targeted, than you have desired. So undesirable effects of a compound is called side effects. So side effects mostly due to the non-specificity of the compounds. Some compounds are not so specific. For example, some anti-cancer drug. When people take an anti-cancer drug during chemotherapy, they suffers from different other physiological disturbance. That means that compound has some side effects. Side effect means not only effective in inhibiting or disturbing the physiology of the cancer cell, but also in the normal cell. In that case, the most important is to fix the dose. But those, the dose we are getting from the doctors are general, not individual. Body weight, physiology of the human, different human has different physiology, different body weight, different immunity level. This is why, a general dose prescribed by the doctor may cause side effects to some person, but not others. So in that case, this is a bit risky, but the side effects is obviously associated with the uh, pharmaceutical drug or other natural product associated product, but dose is most important. Be careful about taking the dose. Never take higher dose or even lower dose than the prescribed one. Even lower dose sometimes, lower than the optimum dose, also problematic, can bind through a different receptor and can cause undesirable effects. In case of coffee, you mentioned some people have good effects in their body, some are not. It depends on the human individuals. So those people who do not get feel better to take coffee, they should take lesser amount. Uh, uh, and some people, every hour they take the coffee, but they are tolerant. So a tolerance level as well as side effects obviously varies person to person, and you cannot avoid 100% side effect, but you can minimize the side effect by taking the appropriate dose, which is appropriate for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Any
Thank you.
question? Anyone have any more question? You can ask question, because asking question is very important in the learning process. You can get more insight of any topic by asking question. And asking question is a skill also. It is an important skill of human being. uh, if you can ask a good question, and if you develop this habit, it would be very useful for your whole life. Asking question is a sign of an intelligence, obviously, and curiosity. Any more question? No? If no more question, I should thank all of you for listening the lecture and attending this virtual, class. And obviously, I again suggest you to make uh, fruitful our Facebook platform, another platform of virtual classroom. So you can ask your question through the Facebook and discuss the topic, and discussion on any topic is very important for in-depth learning. So try to ask question through your Facebook group, as well as you can share important link of a any literature related to the bioactive natural products or natural products through your Facebook group, and you can even initiate a topic for discussion or like that, because bioactive natural products, this is an exciting subject which is obviously new for most of you, uh, and more discussion give you more understanding. And I wish all of you safe stay and healthy stay in this uh, pandemic, COVID-19. Thank you very much.